Hey, you guys, and welcome to American Culture. My eyes are red because I was crying, but we'll get to that in just a second. So, I'm just going to talk about me, you guys, and what I've been going through over the course of the past 2 days. Those of you here in America are aware that we had daylight savings time. So, on Saturday, the clocks went from 2 a.m. back to 1 a.m. I was at work during this time. And the thing was, I had already planned to leave work early because I was going to go to 11:22 service. And if that's the case, I need to get a little bit of sleep because, like I say, I work at night, usually about 3 hours, and I'm good. So by me planning to leave early, I was going to lose a little bit of money, but I was going to get home, be able to go to sleep, wake up, go to church. Well, when daylight savings time came and the clock rolled back, I didn't know this was happening. So I was like, woo, Jesus. Not only do I not lose any money, I can actually stay a little bit later and make some more money. Bad idea. You see, instead of me seeing what the Lord had orchestrated, because whenever God wants you to do something, He supernaturally moves things and it just becomes effortless. If you just go with the flow, baby, it's going to be good. And instead of me seeing that God had literally made it so that I wasn't even going to lose anything, I was going to gain time by this. I was going to gain that extra 30 minutes I thought I was going to lose and still be able to leave even earlier than I thought. I was going to be able to leave at 6 o'clock now instead of 6:15, 6:30. But like I said, the second that what I wanted, this money, this option to make a little bit more money came into play, I went over there. And of course I got home, didn't wake up on time, and the alarm, you guys have had an iPhone for I don't know how many years, and the alarm has never dinged, but today it dinged. Yesterday it dinged instead of going off. And I woke up at 10:54 and said, I can't make it. I was embarrassed, I was hurt, I was upset with myself, and I had to ask God what was going on. And after some time, of course, He'll reveal to me that, again, it's going back to the book of Genesis in the Garden of Eden. What was one of the things that made Eve create that fall? It was sin nature. And I had never thought, you guys, that there is a sin. I'd heard of it, but I never really grasped the concept that there are natural ways of the world too, and it's of disconnection, and it is chasing after what you want. And He said you're going to have to pay attention to sin nature, i.e. what applies to this situation is how sin nature and free will work together. You see, of the earth, I think I have all the ability to do what I want. That's my free will. And so if you want money and money is possible, what you gonna do? You gonna do what money says you need to do. And God's letting me know that's not it. The way God views free will is that you have the ability to make a choice. There are always choices, but the outcome is always determined by His predetermination. So there's nothing that I'm choosing where I actually create what I want. I'm just experiencing what God has already ordained to me based off of the choice that I made. And so He wants me to see my free will not as I can do what I want, but as a choice, because it's the constantly I'm doing what I want that has me chasing down what I want and not what God has for me. At the end of the day, after all this prayer and all this thinking and all this reading and all this going to church, which ironically was about chasing down treasures accordingly, or at least, spending your treasures accordingly, I realized two things. Number one, my life had taken a change. I had switched from living the life that I wanted to living the life that I had. And that was a drastically different thing. It goes back to God telling you have everything available to you. I've already orchestrated, put all this together. And so me living the life that I wanted had me trading in 45 minutes worth of extra pay for an entire day of experiencing God's glory. No, I'm going to focus on what I have, and I'm going to see His glory. I'm going to see that He changed the time for me so that I could have this experience. And I'm going to work with what I have. Church was about your first and best. And it hit me. My first and best isn't just my money. My first and best is my first thoughts, which are always on the Lord. I make sure that I do that. And now my best efforts need to be applied to that. So I went to sleep really ready to go. And I woke up today really ready to go. And I did okay, really ready to go. However, I had something else to do at 6:30 today at church. And as you can see, I got ready. I got dressed. I am good. But then it hits me. Why do I not want to go? Oh my gosh, I'm getting anxious. I'm feeling nervous. Is it a comfort thing? I feel myself. Gotta get out of the comfort zone. God is talking to me. He's told me, Alicia, you need to go out there. I have connection. You need to make them. Can't stay in the house. I know this. Why am I not being obedient? I decided to power through because I looked too good. I felt too good. I was doing it. So I pushed the Uber button because I don't drive. And I said I was getting there at 6:34. I go and get the rest of my stuff together, put my things in my purse, go to pick up the phone because it's been about 8 minutes and I should be getting ready to go. Come to find out, excuse me, my rider is still on the way and I'm not going to get there to 6:48. And so I immediately, I guess just out of emotion, just pushed the button no, thinking, I don't know. And I went back in there and it was even later and even more money. And I just said, forget it. And I started to cry. Now, you guys, for what I do, all this stuff, I'm emotional. But I process them in here and what comes out is basically a processed version of my emotions. Very rarely do you get to see the raw end of me where I'm upset, angry, or even in tears. It didn't happen like that. And so today I just started to cry. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, I really, really wanted to go. Why do I not do this? How come? And again, you want to blame Satan. You want to say, okay, he's stopping me. But again, I have to go back to sin nature. What stopped me from going up there today? And God said, Alicia, are you sure you're not grieving? Are you sure that you didn't just go through a lot and it's official, that older version of yourself? Everything that you knew about your life and the way that you were, it is now gone. And while it may be a relief, there are still parts of you that are denying the new from coming into this space. You see, that older version of you that you thought was in control, that's not there anymore, but you are denying that space to be filled by God's presence. You're denying. You're being active. You're in denial. Some of it's anger. Some of it's fear. Some of it's sadness. You know that. You're crying. And it hit me. I'm actually going through a little bit of a grieving phase of that older version of self. That's why I am being resistant on getting out there and essentially allowing new things into this now opened space. I can be happy that this is taking place because I think a lot of times, you guys, those nerves, I didn't realize that nervousness, that anxiety was not based off of fear, but it was based off of grief. It was based off of me denying myself the ability to open up this new space and allow these new experiences in that I have to have. It's like after somebody gets a divorce or, somebody dies or they get denied a promotion. It takes a little bit before you're ready to go back out there and be like, hey. And I literally just had this huge epiphany, long time coming life shift. You are no longer living the way that you were trained to live through life. You're no longer living the life that you want, chasing after all of these things that you imagine. You're living the life that you had. And that's why it says, if you just give up all of this stuff that you're thinking about, all of this God has for you is far better than what you can imagine. Even in that moment, like I said with yesterday, I was imagining that the 45 extra minutes of pay that I got was going to be this great thing. But what God had for me, whatever the experience of was yesterday, I promise you was going to be worth far more than that. And I gave it up for that. And once I made that realization, there was no going back. I have committed. I have laid all of my plans bare before the Lord. I'm staying on board with that. And what I'm experiencing today, right now, in this moment, is a grieving period. It is that version of me is dead, and I'm not quite sure if I want to go back out there yet. Well, the thing is, you guys, is good for me. I can turn off the grief and turn on the celebration and say I'm going to go live my life. I hear you, Alicia. I know you want to stay there, but we're not exactly the most introverted person on earth. We wear pink diamonds, sweetie. The world needs to see your face. You have gifts. You're going outside. And so, yeah, I'm happy that I recognize that I'm grieving a former version of myself, and that's this is part of it. That whole something just got taken away from me. I'm not quite ready to go out there yet. But now that I know that I'm ready to go out there, not doing this again. Because like I say, I'm excited and I'm enthused. I look too good. I smell good. Feel good. I'm fabulous. I have good things to say. The Lord is on my side. I'm not keeping this in here. You see it, you guys. And so why in that moment was I feeling like no? But it was like, yeah, you officially, that version of you is gone. You're doing things that a person who's grieving does. Gotta end that cycle. We can do that now and keep it moving. So I will. It helped me to put my tears away. And like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be flying. Fabulous. Hope to see you guys at the fair. Bye.